Buen día. Vamos a hablar de los objetos directos. Primero vamos a hablar de ellos en inglés y después en español. Les di en clase el otro día un papelito, a little half sheet of paper, where on one side you have English questions and on the other side you have some Spanish questions. So what I would like you to do right now is on that little sheet of paper, you can stop the video, find that sheet of paper, and I want you to identify what the direct object is by underlining it. Okay? So stop this video, look at the questions, and underline the direct object in each question. Okay, hopefully you stopped the video and underlined the question. So we're going to go through and figure out what is the direct object in each of these. A direct object is going to answer the questions who or what is the object of the verb. So do you have the book? Think to yourself, what do you have? So it's the book. Is Sandra going to invite me to the party? So who is Sandra going to invite? Me. Do you practice the irregular verbs? So think to yourself, what do you practice? The irregular verbs. Is Marcos looking for the key? What is Marcos looking for? The key. Do y'all want to study the grammar? So what is it that y'all want to study? The grammar. So those are the direct objects in English. So ask yourselves the same type of questions I asked. What do you have? Who is Sandra going to invite? What do you practice? What is Marcos looking for? What do y'all want to study? Again, they answer the questions who or what. Okay, one thing to know is that when a direct object noun in Spanish is a person or a pet, because we tend to personalize our pets, it is preceded by the word a. This is called the personal a. In English, it's called the a, or in Spanish, it's called the a personal. There's no equivalent whatsoever in English to this. It doesn't translate to anything. So Mariela mira a Carlos. So Mariela is watching Carlos. And it's a Carlos because he's a person. But when we have a thing, we don't have that personal a or a personal. So we don't use it. Mariela mira televisión. So Mariela is watching TV. Now, direct object pronouns are words that replace direct object nouns. Like English, Spanish uses a direct object pronoun to repeat or to avoid repeating a noun already mentioned. Now, I don't like the way, I took this directly from VHL, I don't like how they set it up. They have Maribel hace las maletas, Maribel las hace. I would prefer to make it a question like, ¿Hace Maribel las maletas? Sí, las hace. And I would change Felipe compra el sombrero to a question. ¿Compra Felipe el sombrero? Sí, Felipe lo compra. ¿Tiene Vicky la llave? Sí, Vicky la tiene. And so they've highlighted in yellow what's the direct objects in the statements and then rewriting the statements using the direct object pronoun. Again, I prefer, it's easier if you ask a question and then answer it with the direct object pronoun. So the direct object pronouns are me, te, lo, la, nos, los, and las. So it is important when we talk about things or other people, if it's feminine or if it's masculine, it's going to be lo, and if it's more than one, los. If it's feminine, it'll be la, and if it's more than one, it's las. So in affirmative sentences, direct object pronouns generally appear before the conjugated verb. Okay, so we have two examples, like Adela practica el tenis, Adela lo practica. And again, I would prefer if they would have it in a question, like practica Adela el tenis? Sí, Adela lo practica. And I would change like Carmen compra los pasajes to compra Carmen los pasajes? Sí, Carmen los compra. Gabriela no tiene las llaves. So now we have a negative sentence, and the pronoun, again, is placed before the verb. It's between no and the verb. So Gabriela no las tiene. So Diego no hace las maletas. I would make it a question. ¿Hace Diego las maletas? No. Diego no las hace. When the verb is in an infinitive construction, such as ir plus a plus infinitive, the direct object pronoun can be placed before the conjugated verb or attached to the infinitive. If you only have an infinitive, then it must attach to the infinitive. Okay, so let me give an example of what I mean, and it won't be visual. But if I have something like antes de verla, I'm talking about una película, antes de verla. The antes de requires that I have an infinitive, so antes de verla, voy a comprar una soda. Something like that. Okay. Here they show us two examples where we've got a conjugated verb with an infinitive. The first one, ellos van a escribir unas postales. We can make it a question. ¿Van a escribir ellos unas postales? And you can answer it with sí, ellos las van a escribir o ellos van a escribirlas. Either way is correct. There's no difference in meaning. It's just a preference. So they are going to write them. It's what both of them mean. But las van a escribir kind of goes back to putting it before that conjugated verb. Van a escribirlas is here our second choice, or second option, is putting it on the end of the infinitive. So, ¿quiere Lidia ver una película? Sí, la quiere ver, o quiere verla. Basically, in this verb expression of van a escribir o quiere ver, it's like a family. They don't want to be separated, so we want to put the pronoun out in front to lead the family, or we want to attach it on to the end of the infinitive so that it tags along. Now we've learned the present progressive with estar. The same kind of thing happens here, where we can put it out in front, the pronoun out in front of the form of estar, or we can attach it to the present participle. So, Gerardo está leyendo la lección, la está leyendo. Tony está mirando el partido, lo está mirando. Now let's look at when we attach it to them. Gerardo está leyéndola. Tony está mirándolo. Okay. Now I could go into the whole thing on the whole syllabification, on how when a word ends in a vowel, the natural stress of the word is typically the second to the last syllable. But by us adding this pronoun, it now becomes the third to the last syllable. But we want to mark it. So we want to mark that second, what was originally the second to the last syllable. or it's just easier to remember, accent the E in yendo and the A in ando. I find that easier to remember. Now let's go back to the sheet of paper. On the other side, you have Spanish questions. It says, ahora lee las siguientes preguntas, subraya el objeto directo, contesta las preguntas con una compañero usando el pronombre del objeto directo. So stop the video again. I want you to underline what is the direct object in each question, and then answer the questions using the appropriate pronoun of the direct object. So stop the video. Okay, hopefully you had stopped the video and you were able to figure out what the direct objects were and be able to answer those. So let's go through those responses. ¿Tienes el libro? ¿Qué tienes? El libro. What pronoun are we going to use for el libro? Lo. How many verbs do we have? One. So it's going to go out in front. So, ¿tienes el libro? Sí, lo tengo. ¿Me va a invitar Sandra a la fiesta? ¿A quién va a invitar Sandra a la fiesta? A mí, me. Okay. Now we're not going to change our subject, so we're not going to change our verb, but the me, when we have a yo form in our question, we come back with the to form in our answer. So, sí te va a invitar. You could also say, sí va a invitarte. ¿Practicas los verbos irregulares? ¿Qué practicas? Los verbos irregulares. What pronoun are we going to use? Right, los. So no los practico. ¿Está buscando Marcos la llave? ¿Qué está buscando Marcos? La llave. Now we're not going to change our subject from Marcos, so no la está buscando, or no está buscándola, with an accent over the A. ¿Quieren estudiar la gramática ustedes? ¿Qué quieren estudiar? La gramática. And when we have ustedes in our question, we're going to answer back with nosotros. So, sí, la queremos estudiar o queremos estudiarla. Because when we have two verbs, we have two choices. Okay, so those are the direct objects and their pronouns. In class, we'll be practicing more with those. Okay. Espero que tengan un buen día.